also about to be live on the podcast platform. So yes, we're live now on Spreaker and iHeartRadio, as well as over at the leadershiptkostation.com's website. Welcome everyone. It's about 8:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in this beautiful city of Chesapeake, Virginia, here in the United States of America. And for all of you listening in from abroad, we know that there are people from not just here in the United States, but countries abroad. I welcome you. I thank you. And I want to make sure that I provide you with some great value. So remember, here with the Leadership TKO Live Night Show, here's what I will tell you. This show, we try to do this every single night, somewhere between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so we do this so we can empower leaders like yourself with the ability to win from the inside out, growing your influence, your impact, and your income. These are the three areas that we focus in on. Now, when I say we, it's just not myself that really puts all this together. I do have a team of people that works with me behind the scenes, including my husband. All right. And so I'm extremely excited and grateful for the opportunity to be able to sow content, nuggets of value into each and every one of your lives, whether you are catching this live as we are live and streaming this live, or if you're catching the replay. And so thank you so very much. And so listen, I want you to do a couple things for me. Number one, like or love the stream if you are a business owner and you're just expecting some great things to happen for yourself in the next couple of days and even upcoming weeks. If you're looking to grow your business by leaps and bounds, go ahead and love the stream that you're watching or that you're listening into. Secondly, if you have a question, if you have a comment, right? Go ahead and type those comments below or in the comment section nearby. And then lastly, we do have the opportunity to share this. So wherever you are, on whatever platform you're listening or watching, you want to make sure you share this out. So if you're on Facebook, you can share this on your timeline, a fan page, or even a group. If you're on the podcast platforms, hopefully it allows you to be able to share it to different places. But I thank you so very much and appreciate your time. And so many of you probably see, of course, our topic for tonight. And I know that there are a plethora of things going on tonight. I know with the company that my company is affiliated with, we have a team that's actually hosting some training right now. And so I wanted to make sure I remained relatively consistent with my podcast audience, with all of you, and that I make sure I touch bases with you tonight. So I'm still going to go forward. I'm going to share this great content with you tonight. And so what I am going to do really quick, okay, is I'm going to practice what I preach. I'm going to share this out in a few groups really quick, okay, just to invite them to come on out or listen to it when or watch it when they can, okay? All right, so there we go. All right, cool. All right, so the topic matter. Many of you probably see the topic matter before you right there in the subject area. We're going to deal with the big R from the perspective of each of the cash flow quadrants. The big R. All right, and so I'm going to share my screen really quick, and then I'm going to dive into this, all right? Let me go ahead and share. Okay, here we are. Perfecto. And I want to get this thing going straight way. Okay. Now, hopefully you all will be able to see this nice and clear. You can see me still. You can hear me relatively well. All right. And so I'm going to refresh. I'm going to make sure that you all can see my screen really, really good. You should see the cash flow quadrant before you right now. Okay. And that's what should be popping up right here. Cash flow quadrant image where you can see the E, the S, the B, and the I. Many of you probably think right now at this particular point, like this is my favorite thing to talk about. It really sort of kind of is my favorite thing to talk about. You know, and you want to make sure you get yourself a copy of the book. That's what I was bending down to get. A copy of the book. This cash flow quadrant book is thebomb.com. Make sure you grab a copy. For those of you who are really trying to make a difference, you're really trying to just build wealth and increase cash flow in your life, you want to make sure you grab a copy of this. And I know it should be available on Amazon, okay? Or any other common bookstore, but it depends on if it's open around this time, because we know that many of the essential stores are open right now, but many of the other stores are closed. So you may want to try, some type of online business like Amazon and get a copy of it. But let's dive into it. The big R. Now, when I'm talking about the big R, I'm simply talking about risk management. Go ahead and notate that on a notepad if you like. But we're talking about simply risk management. All right. And so what do we mean by that? All right. Each of these quadrants has a certain level of risk that you would take, whether it's a low amount of risk or a high amount of risk. Now, when we're talking about risk, we're talking about the potential for loss occurring. Okay. The potential for loss, something being lost, whether it's time, money, or a combination of the two. The potential for time or money to be lost in this particular instance. Now, as I was mentioning, and as you can see here, the first quadrant that many people speak of and that majority of the population is in, or may have been detached from, unfortunately, during this season that we're in, okay, they may have been an employee, and you might have been an employee yourself, okay, where the amount of active work determines your income, as you can see right here. The amount of active work determines your income. So pretty much what's happening in this quadrant is you're exchanging time for money. Okay, you're exchanging time for money. Now, how much time in a day do you have available? And for the most part, for those who are employed, if you get a job, most people are holding a job, or you may end up switching jobs, or you may be forced to go to another job if you're laid off, or if you're looking to try to go and be promoted somewhere else or have another opportunity somewhere else with another organization. But either way, you're exchanging time for money. So if you're not working that job and doing those tasks connected to that position, you will not be paid. So what's the risk? The risk is if something ever happens to you, in this instance that we're in, where many people cannot work, you can't go to your place of employment, or your time or your hours are limited, you don't have as much cash flow coming in, or you may not have any cash flow coming in at all because you can't exchange those hours to get those dollars, right? So the risk is high, all right? The risk is high. You might be saying, well, I have some time, but here's the thing. Time for what if you don't have a position to occupy, a part of that organization? So again, the risk is extremely high, and many people are feeling it. They're sensing this thing right now. It's real. It's real. It's no time to really point fingers, but just to really examine where you are in this day and time, in this month of April. Where are you? Okay, when it comes to cash flow, were you an employee? And was your situation the case where you were laid off, or you just could not work because you're not an essential worker, all right? And so now you're trying to figure out how to generate that cash flow. That's a huge risk. You place the livelihood of you and your family into the hands of another organization. And now some people are feeling the heat, all right? You're feeling the heat. But let's talk about the other quadrants. There's also the S quadrant, self-employed, where some people, when they're employed and they go to school, they may have gotten that degree, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I want to become my own boss. You might not like what's going on at your job or the job you did have, and you're like, well, I can do this better, or I can go and be my own boss. I want to do what I want to do. So then you go, and what happens is you create a job, because that's what being self-employed is. See, the amount of active work still determines your income, because for the most part, when people become self-employed, you take on various tasks and you're doing all of the work. You're essentially the system that keeps it running. So if something was to ever happen to you, so for example, if you become ill, or if you want to go on vacation, your business goes on vacation. If you become sick and you can't do certain things, your business becomes sick, meaning that your pockets become a little low because you can't exchange those hours for dollars. Okay, so you're still doing the same thing, but you just created a job for yourself, right? Robert Kiyosaki, in this book, he talks about how people who are self-employed, what happens is you become a slave to your passion. You become a slave to your passion. You might love training. You might love coaching. But after a while, because it's only you doing the work, you're going to want a break. You're going to want to just take a break and do some other things, go away for a couple of days. Well, what happens is your business still generating money? Okay, are you still generating money? If it's just you, in most cases, you're not. So the risk, as we're talking about risk management, the risk is still relatively high. You might be generating some money. Okay, we get it because we have a lot of professionals that do that. They may be doctors, they could be lawyers, right? Generating a high amount of money because you might be charging a certain amount per hour. Okay. And even basketball players, if they don't have these other side businesses, because even basketball players today, because the league is on this break period and they're not playing basketball, if they don't have all these other business deals going on, doing commercials, sneaker deals, cologne deals, clothing, whatever it may be, if they don't have these things still going on, and if they weren't managing their dollars, the cash, relatively well, then they could be struggling too. Because if they're not on the basketball court playing basketball, okay, what type of income are they generating? Because it's based on their performance. Exactly. Okay, so you have to think about all of this. So that's the S quadrant. Again, you might have some money, but that time is very limited. So the risk is you're risking a high amount of time and potentially your health. Now let's talk about the B quadrant, being a business owner. This is where income does not depend on your active work. Okay, so you might have a system of employees. And so because you got this system of employees, right, you're leveraging the efforts of hundreds, potentially hundreds of people. And therefore, because you're leveraging their efforts and the time that they're putting in, you're bringing in money regardless. So even if you are taking a vacation, even if you're not feeling well, guess what? It's like a well-oiled system, and that thing is running, baby. You sleeping and you still bringing in money, cha-ching, right? Okay, you're still bringing in money because you have a system. Think about these big businesses out there. Of course, many of them could be closed because it's brick and mortar. And if it's not an essential business, guess what? Even those brick and mortar businesses are closed. So what we're talking about right now is the traditional types of business, but there's another side of a business. Now, traditional businesses have some high risk as well. Now, although they may not be taxed as much as those who are employed or self-employed, guess what happens? You still have the rent, that commercial property you're paying for, and other, bills that you still have to pay for, part of that property and that business. And if you have employees, yes, you have to take care of benefits or whatever it is that you're giving these employees. So there's still a high amount of expenses associated with the traditional business, but you still have a system. You're still bringing in money, even though you may not be present physically. Now, there's another type of business. Now, Robert Kiyosaki, the genius, right? He calls it the business of the 21st century, better known as the network marketing model of business. Now, network marketing has little to no risk. Now, I say little to no risk because there is some risk. Because if you're doing something, getting involved in a third-party organization or company, and if you get involved and you do nothing, then you're wasting your time if you're not doing anything. But let me tell you, the risk is really low because in most opportunities, most of these companies require nothing to a certain amount, a small portion of money, nothing compared to opening up a huge franchise. Okay, nothing compared to that. But you still have this opportunity to grow a big business from the comfort of your home with little risk when it comes to the network marketing model of business. Now, I, for example, am connected to an e-commerce business that has the opportunity for a person to create a network. It's not a network marketing opportunity, but it's an e-commerce company where anyone can plug into it and not pay a thing to register. That's right, $0 to register for the e-commerce company. And again, it has a referral component, so you can build a network and therefore have a team of people. It's called group economics, where you're leveraging the time, the efforts, the abilities of those that you refer to the opportunity. and they decide to plug in and not pay a thing because it's e-commerce and it's an amazing opportunity. All right. And so it just grows. So right here, when I'm here, right here in Chesapeake, Virginia, I have business partners in Thailand. I have business partners in Australia, in Africa, in various places around the world, from the comfort of my home, not having to necessarily go out if I don't want to in the midst of all that's going on right now. And so that's the beauty of network marketing, and more specifically, the beauty of the e-commerce company that allows us to plug into this amazing money system for free. For free. Okay? And many of the companies out there, and you really have to do your research to find out what suits you. But as I have been sharing in previous episodes of this show, you need to get plugged into something where the demand for that product is high. Okay, it makes sense. You're passionate about the product and the demand is high so that you can have a potential unlimited amount of customers and potential partners to grow your network. And that's why I particularly enjoy this e-commerce company, because the product is money. And while many people, maybe even yourself, are you trying to bring in some extra cash flow. So this will be the opportunity for you to bring in cash flow. So cash can flow into your home, and you'll have the potential to generate cash flow at least 5 times a month from this opportunity. So again, B quadrant, you have traditional businesses, and then you have the network marketing model of business. And so my recommendation, there's nothing like the network marketing model of business. Now, after you get your feet wet, you're building up this business here, then you want to take it up a notch. I actually recommend for you to look at the I quadrant. This is where you become an investor. Now here, when it comes to risk management, what are we talking about here? If you don't know what you're doing, right, and if you put your cash into the wrong vehicle, you could potentially risk losing a lot. Many people that I've spoken to over the last couple of weeks and months placed their dollars from their employer into a 401k. A 401k, okay, it is an investment. It's not a savings. I repeat, a 401k is an investment. And in most cases, those who have a 401k have no control over it and don't know what's going on with it. And over the course of the last weeks and few months, guess what's been happening? People have been losing a lot of those dollars there because you're not paying attention. You're not knowing what's going on. And then when you try to pull it out, you have a hard time, because if you're not quote unquote retirement age, you're going to be penalized because of the penalties, right? For trying to pull it out. Now, recently, they were waiving the penalty, right? That fee for pulling it out. So hopefully many of you took advantage of that. But again, there's high risk if you don't know what you're doing. And that's why it's best to have some mentors to assist you when it comes to tapping into this quadrant, being an investor. So being an investor, this is where income does not depend on your active work, and money, cash that you have, disposable cash, right? You are putting it to work for you. So again, it can be high risk if you don't know what you're doing and if you don't have mentors to kind of guide you and assist you. Now, I want to dial back a little bit, because with the e-commerce company that I'm plugged into, guess what happens? Not only do people become a part of the B quadrant, but they also become a part of the I quadrant. And this is where you're able to put dollars to work even within this money system. So you become an investor. What are we talking about here? The product, the opportunity involves cryptocurrency that's connected to 24 karat physical gold. And you're not by yourself when you dive into it, because the beautiful thing about the e-commerce company is that you receive wealth education and there are mentors to guide you. So you're not just happenstancely just throwing money everywhere, but you're getting guidance, direction. You're seeing what they're doing. And as a result, you're doing what the wealthy do, okay, within the system. So the risk still is relatively low within this e-commerce company and becoming an investor. All right. And so my recommendations, although I'm not a financial advisor, okay, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you giving you nuggets based on my experience and the experiences of my mentors as well. And so for those of you who are trying to figure out, well, what is the best move to make? There are people who may tap into all of these quadrants, okay? And you have that decision to make. It's really up to you. But my recommendation is that if you want to achieve financial freedom, the B quadrant and the I quadrant, take the risk. Again, with the e-commerce company, the risk is relatively low because you have mentors to guide you. And there's nothing that you need, right? No money to put up front to register and get an account because it's absolutely free. There are no required monthly fees with the e-commerce company, although with other opportunities, there may be required fees. There are going to be some recommendations that we make based on what your goals are, but the risk is still relatively low, okay? So if you want to maximize your time, if you want to maximize every dollar that you have, and even if you don't have money, say for example, you're like, Lakeisha, I don't even have any money coming in. I totally get it. You can still, again, register for free. And there are people who are obtaining assets, right? And generating cash flow, even starting out with zero. So even with the reasoning of, I don't have any money, that really would not be a good reason not to plug in, because there are people who are doing it. Plugged in for free and now generating cash on a weekly basis. Hands down, best opportunity. I know I'm a little biased, but I have to tell you this. Best opportunity by far, okay? By far, to manage risk, okay? So again, I just appreciate each and every one of your time on tonight. Listen, we have an amazing presentation that's going to be going on, and I'm going to stop sharing this really quick. We have an amazing presentation that's going to be going on at 9 o'clock p.m. where you can learn more about this e-commerce company and the money system. Maybe you're like, Lakeisha, I just need a little bit more information. Well, plug in, okay? 9 o'clock. Download the Zoom Cloud Meeting app on your laptop or phone. We may also stream this on Facebook. So if you're friends with somebody that's sharing this, stay tuned. They may actually do a watch party. That may include me too, okay? And so you can also go to www.goldrocks.info. Again, goldrocks.info. Today is Thursday, and we do this every single day, 12 o'clock noon and 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now tonight at 10 o'clock, we're also going to be meeting with some experts, some doctors and other professionals on the platform, where you can hear from their perspective why they feel the e-commerce company and this money system is the best. Because even they felt the need to plug in. Okay, so if the doctors need it, guess what? Everybody can do this. And even you can benefit from this money system. Okay? And so with the Leadership TKO Live Night Show, we're looking forward to coming back tomorrow night. It is going to be a Friday night, so just know that it is going to be just audio by itself. Audio on Fridays and Saturdays. And then we'll jump back into video as well on Sunday. So if you're watching this tonight, here is what I want to tell you. If you're watching this tonight and you're like, Lakeisha, I'm down for it. I'm ready to plug in right now, hands down. I don't need anything else. All you need to do is send me an inbox message and I'll be more than happy to help you to plug in for free. Okay? And for those of you watching on somebody else's timeline, I want to encourage you. Get back with them. Inbox them. Call them if you have their number. Text them. Let them know you are ready. You want a link, some information. You want to register because it's free and you don't have anything to lose, but you have a whole lot to bring into your life and to gain. So, appreciate you. I'm your leadership specialist and your wealth mentor. And so this is the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. And so until tomorrow night, I want to encourage each and every one of you to think, to speak, and to live leadership. Good night, everybody. God bless. And I'll catch you and join with you on goldrocks.info.